at the outset looks like a beat versus expectations. I'm going to quickly pull out what was penciled in, but I believe 5,500 crore is where the PAT number actually was estimated to be at. It's coming at 6,000 crore, so it's clearly a beat. Okay, 5,845 crore versus 6,000 crore. That's a clear beat, and 12,500 crore was where the net interest income was expected to come in at 12,408. That too looks like a stronger number, 12,571, marginally stronger. The real beat has come in on the credit cost number. That number seems to be, I'll quickly pull that number out, that number is at 1,993 crore versus the 2,190 crore number which was expected. So credit costs driving a stronger bottom line profit for a Bajaj Finance this time around. So you're seeing that strength in the profitability of Bajaj Finance. By the way, the PAT number has come in at 5,986 crore. I repeat, 5,986 crore on a console level. So 5,986 is the profit after tax number for Bajaj Finance. 5,986. We'll get that very quickly fixed, but that's the number we're looking at essentially. You have you of course have the net interest income number coming in at 12,600 odd crore, nearly 12,600 crore, and 1,993 crore. Again, that provisions number is 1,993 crore versus 2,008 crore same time last quarter. So that number too is improving. And mind you, there was 5% growth, 1,993 crore viewers. That's the provisions number. I just want to quickly flag that off. And just in terms of the profit after tax number, it's just a minor beat. So it's not something which is extremely strong. Just on the basis of the numbers that I went through. 12,500 odd crore, that also largely in line. It looks like an inline set. Credit costs, of course, is impressive because that's the number which everyone is looking at, that credit cost number. This number needs to this number needs to change. Profit after tax is not 6,081. Please note that number is 5,986 crore, 5,986 crore on profitability, and on the provisions number it is 1,993 crore versus 2,008 crore same time last quarter. QOQ is typically how we look at the provisions number. So broadly, that's how we are set up in terms of Bajaj Finance. Aditya Shah joining us at this hour, founder Hercules Advisors, with regard to these numbers of Bajaj Finance. Aditya, great having you. Aditya, the number that's standing out for me is the credit cost number. It clearly has surprised, and typically the guidance band was 1.5 to 1.7% on the credit cost count. I believe it's come out at the lower end of that band. Very likely, we'll wait for the exact print, of course, but very likely. Do you believe that structurally this looks good for Bajaj Finance in terms of the numbers?
So from my perspective, the results are absolutely fine. If you look at the results, the loan growth at about 24%. The deposit growth is also at about, I think, 20%. I don't have the exact numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong. The deposit growth also at about 20%, and the gross NPA at about 1.03%. So basically, the entire system has seen a slowdown in slippages, a slowdown in NPA formation. Bajaj Finance also has seen that. Need to look at the slippages number to comment. But from my perspective, as you said, 1,900 crores is fairly okay. Nothing to complain about as such. It's a good set of numbers from Bajaj Finance.
On a 5% sequential growth number, that number doesn't look bad at all, broadly. Aditya, at this point in time, you've seen, from the lows of a couple of years ago, Bajaj Finance has seen a stupendous run-up, right? If you pull out the slightly longer-term chart, you'll see that. How should one look at valuations at this point for a Bajaj Finance?
Valuation continues to remain really very expensive for Bajaj Finance. But as long as there is no management problem, as long as there's no problems as such as they were with HDFC Bank. The growth should continue and the stock price should also favor the investors. So from my perspective, valuation remains a key concern. If you have invested in the stock, remain invested. A fresh entry looks difficult at current valuation.
Okay. All right. That's the take. Now, just with regard to the way in which, one should look at margins, Aditya, there's, at least on Bajaj housing side of things, there's been a bit of a margin cool off. A further cool off is expected. How should one look at the margin print on Bajaj Finance?
I don't think margins would be a problem for Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance typically runs an unsecured book. And I'm saying on unsecured book, it should not be too difficult to sustain margins for this. So from my perspective, margin should not be a problem. I've not looked at why Bajaj Housing Finance's margins are coming off. But from my perspective, Bajaj Finance, per se the business, they should not have any problem with margins for this.
Okay. All right. Aditya, thank you so much. Very close to market close. We'll let you go on that note. Okay. Numbers continue to trickle our way. How should one look at Bajaj Finance's numbers? Devarsh, do you have a view with regard to Bajaj Finance? Let me throw in Chola as well. Let me also throw in, for example, some of the other NBFCs which have come out with numbers, L&T Finance and the like. Is there a preference there within that NBFC pack, Devarsh?
So, clearly, our team has to analyze the Bajaj Finance, so I'll refrain from commenting that. Our current rating is buy with around target of 1100, and post this result, we'll also review it. You mentioned Chola, that's a good opportunity. The market was a little bit underwhelmed by the numbers, and there is an opportunity there. It's when it comes to the business and the balance sheet and the quality of management, I think that's a great business, great opportunity. And because of these recent numbers, the stock has declined there. So there is an opportunity where at declines, if you are looking to increase the exposure towards the NBFC side, Chola could be looked at.
Okay. Devarsh, thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you go on that note.